Welcome, everybody, to Holiday Hall. My name is Greg Braun, and we are here celebrating this man right here, 36 years with the Cabbage Patch, Tracy Holladay. We've got a studio audience. Let's hear it. Whoa, that's great. Wow, fantastic. I mean, and we're all social distancing. Don't worry about that. We're keeping our distance. We're having fun. That worked, didn't it? Bad prop.
How long's that been in the closet?
I know, that's been in the closet too long. So much for the cheap stuff. Here celebrating Tracy. 36 years, and in fact, we've put together 36 wine bottles, everyone specially made. Each one giving something about Tracy's 36 years with the Cabbage Patch, something he likes, something he doesn't like, something he wants to be remembered for. And during this week, we are going to be giving out those bottles to Tracy. Not all 36, don't worry, but a few every day. Plus, we have some surprises. We have a special announcement today. And for the viewers at home, we've got the word of the day. So every day, we will announce the word of the day. Send that in with your name to Jennifer Scott at cabbagepatch.org. Make sure you put your name on there. We had a couple people that sent the word of the day and forgot to put their names. So you can't win without putting your name in. And what you can win is what's behind me. We've got some wine, some gift cards, umbrella, and a nice bunch of surprises like that in a big basket that we're going to give out on Friday. So the word of the day is challenge. Challenge is the word of the day. So send that to an email to Jennifer Scott for your chance to win. Don't forget to check us out every day on Facebook, on YouTube, on the Cabbage Patch website, and make sure you tell your friends and send this to your friends so we can all celebrate and honor Tracy and his legacy here at the Cabbage Patch. Before we move on, I wanted to give a quick shout out to the production team. These guys, let's hear a round of applause.
Yeah.
They're doing a fantastic job. Tim Roughton, Paul Holladay, Morgan McLaughlin, and of course Jennifer Scott, who is the Cecil B. DeMille of directors, and it's a lot of work to make us look good and not top over stuff, especially me. And these people behind the scenes are really doing a great job, and we wanted to thank them. Okay, audience, what's the word of the day?
Challenge.
Just want to make sure we know, okay? Next up, we got a video. This video has been put together by some of the past board presidents, and some of them have some messages to send to Tracy. And Tim, why don't you run the video?
Rest satisfied with doing well and leave others as they may to speak of you. Pythagoras said that, Tracy, and I read it. And I just felt like that epitomized kind of your attitude about what you've done for the patch and to the patch, that you've tirelessly over years and years spent your efforts worrying about what profoundly changing lives to our at-risk kids and youth and their families meant, and doing the right thing. And you will let everybody else in history decide what that means and what your legacy is. But I can tell you for me that your legacy has been changing lives one kid at a time.
First things that come to mind when I think about Tracy are sense of humor.
Incredible energy.
Warm, friendly, but also he'll tell you what he thinks about something and why he thinks that way.
He's one of the most caring individuals that I've ever met.
I've always known he was a seminary graduate. He's entitled to have the Reverend Mr. in front of his name, but I've always looked at him mostly as a wonderful executive director and administrator with great leadership skills.
I used to use Tracy a lot as an example of an effective not-for-profit leader. He had great focus. He had great, understanding of the mission.
He knows you don't work your way out of poverty, you educate your way out of poverty.
Education has always been something that was really one of the main goals of the Cabbage Patch, and how that affects not only the individual, but their whole families and eventually the community. It can change the world.
The Cabbage Patch has a long legacy. It's been there for a long time, and it's been characterized by long leadership. And now Tracy has fulfilled that too, his commitment to the patch and the mission of the patch through, decades.
When he got there, the patch was blessed with a nice facility and with a nice endowment and with a great staff. But what he did over his tenure was to improve every single aspect of the patch.
He used to say, we do not need for the Cabbage Patch to be the best kept secret in Louisville. We need to be out there, showing people what we do, because what we do is good.
The Cabbage Patch has its roots in a movement from the turn of the 20th century, late 19th, early 20th century. And so the idea was to move into the toughest neighborhoods, to create a permanent presence there, to serve particularly the children and the families in those tough neighborhoods. And that's really the mission the patch has been pursuing from its inception. So an organization like the Cabbage Patch really becomes a little island of hope and opportunity in the neighborhood that it serves.
I think Tracy's done a fantastic job of continuing to lead the patch into the new age.
My favorite part of watching Tracy, and when he talks about the kids, is he kind of gets choked up. His voice kind of halts and he has to swallow hard. And you can tell that the emotions are welling up in him because he's so invested in these kids, in our kids.
Tracy's had an impact not only on the children, of course we're all about the children, but when you think about the adults too, so it could be the parents of the children, it could be staff, donors, community, board members, it could be any number of us. And I think what he's imparted to us is hope and a future. There's a quote from Jeremiah that talks about hope and a future, and I think about Tracy when I read something like that. Hope is a funny little word, and anybody can own it, anybody can have it. You can have everything in the world or you can have nothing, and yet you can have hope. And I think Tracy does a really good job of making sure people understand they can have hope, and hope is about a future.
I hope that my brother will feel a great sense of joy for a job well done. Taking on a job and doing it well for a long time is a noble thing.
It's a pretty fine line when you're the executive director of anything to maintain friendship and as well as being a director and being, the guy where the buck stops. But he's been a friend on almost all levels to a lot of the people that he's worked with and for. I think that's why he's been such a success. And I'm honored to be Tracy's friend.
I am so proud to call him friend, and there are so many people that are better Christians, better servants. I am a better person because of Tracy Holladay.
That was great, wasn't it? Very touching. Feel the love. Well, I told you today we would have a special announcement to make. So before I do that, let me introduce who is going to make the announcement, Corey Miller. Corey is the new Cabbage Patch Executive Director. Before he did the Cabbage Patch, he was the Development Director with the Boys and Girl Scouts. He's got a lot of
Boys and Girls Club.
Boys and Girls Club, excuse me, I'm sorry. And he has got a lot of credentials, and I had to write them down because there's so many. Besides getting a BS from Swanee, he's got a Master's of Divinity at Duke, Master's at UK, and a Doctorate of Ministry at Drew University, which is, wow, pretty impressive. Married to Beth, and their son was just commissioned into the Navy, I believe, in May, right? That's right. Wow. So he's we are fantastically lucky to have him, and now it's my pleasure to introduce Corey Miller.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Well, it's a blessing to be here, and I had not seen that video before. That's an amazing, amazing video and a great testament to you. That's for sure. So I have known Tracy for probably the shortest period of time, certainly of anybody in this room. But I do have a pretty good vantage point to tell something. There's absolutely no question that in your 36 years, and we say 36 years a lot around here, of 36 years of service, a lot, but that shouldn't dull the amazing amount of time that is in one organization in one role. So I just want to truly honor that. But 36 years of faithful service and leadership that's really been, yesterday's word, life-changing to our organization, to the many, many board members that you just heard from. A lot of you have been board members who are board members. And then most importantly, the thousands upon thousands of Patch members that your service has touched. And so over the years, Tracy's vision has enabled us to grow from starting an endowment with just around $1 million to now just under $20 million. So again, that's another big number there. Now, the question is, has Tracy ever asked any of you to start a named fund? He's hard to turn down, isn't he? And really, because of our endowment, we've been able to make our way through this pandemic, maintaining all of our staff positions and being able to continue to serve our children and our families. The Patch's strength and stability come really partly from the emphasis placed on the named endowment fund program that we have going. And we have, get ready to clap again, we have 63 named funds currently. So that's amazing. And most of you know that the Patch is privately funded, and we receive about 45% of our funding for our operating budget from annual fund activities, 5% from special events this year, which is pandemic affected. Normally it's around 15%. Amazingly, this year we will receive about 50% of our operating funds from our endowment. Now, those of you who have been in the nonprofit world and know enough about it, there are not many nonprofits who have almost half our support from endowed funds. So that's something else to celebrate. With COVID-19 pandemic in full force, the reason for endowment giving really have never been stronger than they are right at this moment. Our endowment really helps us to plan for the future. And like the parable, we're building our house on solid rock instead of on sand. And our endowment gives us assurance, really, just what we're going through, that we can weather any storm with God's help. This blessing is what it is. It ensures that our families can depend on our programs for years to come. And as an example, our endowment ensures that our college scholar students can encourage their younger siblings to study hard because they too will have an opportunity to attend college and for a lasting career. And in fact, we are in a campaign right now to expand our endowment so that we can have enough income to grow our college scholar program for the long term. And we hope that you will consider making a gift to our campaign to do that. That helps both today and tomorrow. And we also want to make something else very clear, that endowment giving is really for everyone. It is, everyone can participate in endowment giving, whether you start a named fund or simply give an amount to the overall general endowment fund. And all of that grows the future of the Patch. And although we don't usually like to think about our own mortality, we can also add to the endowment through a future gift through our estate. There's really so many ways to leave a legacy of support for our Patch kids. And so an important decision was made along those lines. The Cabbage Patch board and one special donor decided the best way to honor and celebrate Tracy is to start a named fund in honor of him, the Tracy Holladay Overall Mission Endowment Fund. Listen to this description. Yeah, okay, all right. Okay, listen to this description. Established in 2020 by the Cabbage Patch Board of Directors and generous donors in recognition of Tracy's 36 years of service as Executive Director at the Cabbage Patch. Tracy's legacy of faithfulness, good stewardship, and leadership will forever impact the future of the Patch and those we serve. Tracy believed that all young people need faith, hope, love, and opportunity to become the people God created them to be. And Tracy is so committed to the mission and the work of the Patch that he recently told us that he has included the Cabbage Patch in his estate plan. So thank you very much for that. You're welcome. He also let us know that upon his passing, memorial gifts are going to be directed to his named fund. And we're so grateful that his legacy of serving local families and children will continue well beyond your lifetime. So thank you for that. So thanks to you and Debbie, of course, as a group commitment for making this commitment and making the Patch really one of the heirs in your life's work and wealth. And you are a man who is led by example. So I want to welcome you to the 1910 Society. While we recognize, and you probably helped start that, I think. where we recognize donors who have included the patch in their estate plans. And so to encourage that and to as a resource, you probably have seen that before. Yeah. This has, well, what does this have in it, Tracy? Do you remember?
Well, it has various tabs where you can put all your important information. Think of it as a gift to your children or your executor in particular, because it's going to put in one place a whole lot of information that if it's not there, you're going to be looking everywhere for it. And even though I hope to get a little better organized, now that I've got more time, so my daughter's here, she's shaking her head on that, but
we'll take an over-under on that one.
Somebody's going to be really happy that I put all that in there.
For sure. Well, that's wonderful. Well, thank you, Tracy. Thank you for all the generosity and commitment. But I don't want to stop there. That is just the beginning. We have a special announcement today. There is a very special donor that I mentioned a minute ago, and they want to honor you in an extraordinary way. They wanted us to think big, to act audaciously, and challenged us to consider what could be accomplished with an extremely generous financial goal. These special friends, who want to remain anonymous, said, well, what if you raised $100,000 for your name fund? We will match that with an additional $100,000 from us to make Tracy's fund total $200,000. Now, we have to admit, our first thought was to, what about $50,000? 100's a lot. That's a lot to raise.
Have faith, Corey.
Or maybe 75. But they pushed us. And so today we are excited to announce a $100,000 challenge grant that is out there to meet.
Look out, Jennifer's going to shoot something at you.
Not yet. She will. There's more good news coming. So the good news is that we talked to our board and some friends who made gifts in your honor. And here today at this big reveal, we have raised to date $54,000. Wow.
I promise you no confetti.
All right, let's try again. 50. Sorry.
Here we go again.
We love our special.
I got all this stuff I wrote on. 54. I know, it's hard to read. $54,768 raised to date. Wow. So that is where we are at the moment. It's included in all of you that have made gifts to this point. It's included in that number. That is extraordinary. And it means that we have 46,000 more to raise. We are more than halfway there, and I know that we can do it. And to encourage us even more, there's something else. I kind of feel like I got on an infomercial now. No, there's something more. But this is so much better. We are really blessed, as you know, to have many generous friends. And our friend William Alden has added his own challenge, an additional match to honor you, Tracy, and provide for the future of the patch. And he said that if we can raise an additional $20,000 of new gifts in the next 30 days, that he would match that dollar for dollar as well. So that makes a $100,000 match and a $20,000 match on top of that. And so if we ever needed encouragement to be generous, I think we've got it.
Right.
And I know that we have donors that love you and appreciate all that you've done in the last 36 years and more importantly, believe in our mission, truthfully. You all believe in the children that we serve, and you've demonstrated over and over again that you're committed to helping vulnerable children have hope to help them reach their potential, what Chip was talking about earlier. And so let's do it together. We're going to set a date, September 1st, to meet this match, $46,000, a little less than 8 weeks, so we can do this. Let's show the love to Tracy. And we hope that you will join us by making a gift in his honor. And you can make a gift in all the normal ways, online, by check, stock gift, appreciable assets, anything, just give in a way that's meaningful to you. And as we make this push, we will provide updates on how it's going. And I think Greg is going to share tomorrow. Hopefully we'll have an increase that we can celebrate, and then on Friday as well and into the future. So we will let you know. But above all, really, this is all about you and your generosity today especially. And so I hope that may God continue to bless you and your family in your very well-earned retirement. And so let's all thank Tracy with our hands. All right, thank you.
That was very well done. Wow, that's a lot coming. There's a lot of confetti. There's a lot of excitement. We're just going crazy here.
Okay.
So if you do want to make a donation to the Cabbage Patch, get on the website for more information. And Corey, that was fantastic. Great news. Now, every day we're letting Tracy say a few words, confetti-covered words, and to wrap up the day. Go ahead, Tracy. And before I do that, what's the word of the day? Challenge.
Wow. I guess Jennifer didn't get the memo about no confetti today, but well, I'm incredibly thankful for that incredible gift, and I have a little sneaking suspicion I might know who it is, but I won't divulge that because they wanted to be anonymous. But if it's who I think it is, when we use this word legacy, it's a family that has been generous through generations. And I've had the privilege of seeing that in my tenure here at the Patch. In some cases, well, in many cases for the second generation, and some for even the third generation. And it's one of the reasons we're still here 110 years later. We use and I'm reminded of the phrase, the apple doesn't fall very far from the tree, which I think generally means that the values and the priorities, and in this case, the generosity that you observed in your parents and in other people that were significant in your life, often are ones that you incorporate in yourself. And so I have seen that occur so many times during the 36 years of being here. It's occurred with people who give money, who give time, who give energy. It's occurred with board members. It's occurred with volunteers. And you know, we use that term Patch family a lot around here. And often we're talking about the kids and the parents that we serve, but really there's a much larger Patch family. And it includes the people that support this with their money, their prayers, their time, their energy, and have supported, in many cases, not just during their lifetime, but in several generations of families. So I am so grateful that that continues. And it's one of the reasons we do have a very strong endowment, which is one of the reasons that the Patch will be here for another 100 years and beyond, I believe. So thank you. Leave a legacy one way or another. And if you choose to do it here, we'd be very grateful.
Well, that wraps up our show for today. A couple things. Just remember, 12:30 tomorrow will be day 4. We're over half the way done. We've got some more surprises. We're going to make an announcement on the endowment update. You can check us out on Facebook, YouTube. Let's give a round of applause to our studio audience. Word of the day. Make sure you send that in. And we will see you all tomorrow at 12:30. Thanks for joining us. Thank you.